Good morning to Governor Phil Murphy, legislators, Girl Scouts, and members of my community. My name is Kennedy Fuller, and I am a Girl Scout from Troop 10910. I have been a strong advocate for the Greenway since the beginning. You may be wondering as to why I was asked to make this speech today. Well, in February of 2023, I was invited to the fiscal year 2024 budget address to advocate for the Greenway. During my visit, I got to speak to so many people who cared and wanted the best for New Jersey citizens. To see them actually move forward with projects like the Greenway fills me with so much joy. As a Girl Scout, we vow to follow and live by the Girl Scout law. This law contains ideals of honesty, fairness, strength, responsibility, and having respect for ourselves, others, and authority. But one of the most important parts of the Girl Scout law is our pledge to make the world a better place. While we may not have the platform or the resources to make a large enough impact in our community, our state government is full of people that can make that impact. I appreciate their recognition of our dedication to improving our environment and assisting us in practicing the ideals that we hold so close to our hearts. This park will provide our communities with a multitude of benefits, mentally, physically, and environmentally. The Greenway will contain a vast range of wildlife that is an extremely valuable contribution to our ecosystem. The Greenway will provide many organisms with the space to live, grow, and most importantly, breathe. An increase in plants and trees will remove thousands of toxins from the air that we need to live, providing us with a safer environment for our students, employees, families, and pets. The Greenway also provides better access to public transportation, which will help combat the emissions made every day by our personal vehicles. Among the organisms being impacted by this Greenway are us, the people of New Jersey. The Greenway will be available for hundreds of thousands of people. It is a way to bring us together, to share experiences and laughs. Spaces like these are vital for our communities, because without unity and community, we have nothing. Spaces like these allow us to build our neighbors up and increase social connections. They offer us spaces to run, to play, to move. It is an opportunity to connect the people of New Jersey, a place where we can coexist and share our happiness. Growing up in Jersey City, it is clear that there are so many different cultures and backgrounds in our melting pot of a state. Projects like the Greenway are what allow us to share and bond over our differences rather than divide because of them. In important times like these, improving our communal bonds is essential. The Greenway provides fun and activities for all ages, ethnicities, income levels, and identities. Each unique person can enjoy the park in whatever way they see fit, whether that be walking, biking, exercising, or any number of recreational activities. There is now a place that everyone has access to. It is important that every being in our state has access to open and social spaces for their mental well-being. Sometimes we need a break from the congested roads or the bustle of the city we love so much. Maybe we need a change of scenery from the buildings of all shapes and sizes that fill our streets. Maybe even just having a greener view outside of your window can make a large difference in your attitude and your mental health. The Greenway will be a resource for relaxation, a place where your life can slow down and you can take in your surroundings, a place of serenity and sanctuary. Although it may be advertised as one, to me, the Greenway is not a formal rail line, but a current one. It will actively transport people, ideas, and positivity throughout our counties. I don't know about you, but I, for one, am immensely excited to hop on and ride to a new, transformed, and happier New Jersey. And with that, I would like to introduce the man who values the importance of this Greenway for our communities. Please welcome my fellow New Jerseyan, Governor Phil Murphy.
Kennedy, thank you. If only you had presence and confidence. I said to Sean, you could do the whole program. If you'll forgive me, I'll come back to heap some more praise on Kennedy and her family and her fellow scouts. But I do want to take a brief moment to go into a different direction. Last night, and I feel badly breaking the celebratory spirit here, but we had some serious weather that hit us last night. And we had, sadly, 2 fatalities in Plainfield and a car that was swept away. I think Cedar Brook Park, Sean. And I just came from Berkeley Heights in Union County. I'd say Union County and Somerset County had the biggest impact. A whole number of communities, a significant amount of damage, which we're still assessing. The White House has reached out. You have to meet certain bogeys historically in terms of the federal support, and we're assessing that as we speak. We have very few outages in the state, less than 3,000 this morning. So this was not a power outage event. It was a flooding event. Justin is with us. NJ Transit is running basically full bore. They've got one track on the coastal line that is down that they'll have up by this afternoon. Route 22 is still out of commission between Watchung and North Plainfield. And there are at least 4 areas there where there's either buckling of the road or significant damage. And there's a whole host of local roads where that's the case as well. I want to commend Senators Booker and Kim, who have already reached out, and several members of the delegation to ask us what they can do to help. We declared a state of emergency last night, which I think was the right call for the entire state, because while the most severe weather was in and around Union and Somerset counties, there was weather up and down the state, as I'm sure you all experienced. And stay tuned. We'll have a better sense of, God willing, there's no more fatalities that we don't know about. We'll have a better sense of the damages over the next 48 hours, and we'll make sure we keep folks posted. But please keep the families of those loved ones in your prayers, of those who lost their lives, as well as folks who may be displaced from homes. And that, again, it's a multiple community reality. Scotch Plains, Watchung, Plainfield, North Plainfield, Berkeley Heights I mentioned, Somerset. There's a whole range of communities that are up against it this morning. Which brings us to today, because among all the reasons that Kennedy went through in terms of what will make this so special, environmental stability and stewardship is on that list. That if you have more nights like last night, which sadly we're getting more frequently with more intensity, so we should assume that we will, the Greenway, among other attributes, will strengthen our environmental resilience. Kennedy, again, thank you. It's great to see you again. Great to see your mom. I want to also thank the other members of Troop 910 for their participation today. The Girl Scouts, as usual, rising to the top, running to the front. And again, Kennedy mentioned she was with me when I delivered my budget address a few years ago, and we talked about the Greenway. So here we are a couple of years later, and honored to be with you and your colleagues and family. To all the dignitaries, and there are many here, I won't go through name by name. It's an honor to be with you. We're going to hear from Commissioner Brendan Gill. And Brendan really is a little bit of a George Washington for me in terms of early person. He and Deborah Kagan came by to see me long before I was governor and talked about the NJ Bike and Walk Coalition. And this sort of was an idea that was spinning around, not specific, but in general, in concept. So, Brendan, thank you. Senate Majority Leader Senator Teresa Ruiz, we'll hear from her, and we'll also hear from Assembly Budget Chair, Assemblywoman Ileana Pintor-Marin, and finally we will hear from our Commissioner of the Department of Environmental Protection, the outstanding leader Sean LaTourette. To all the other electeds, whether you be legislators, mayors, council members, county officials, as a group, acknowledging all of you, but one guy in particular, because it's Raj Mukherjee's birthday today. So happy birthday, Raj. And enjoy and look forward to saluting you in some form or some fashion. You all know the general parameters of this. It's ultimately will be a 9-mile greenway connecting 8 communities from Montclair to Jersey City. It will dwarf the High Line in New York City, which is a mile and change. And that's not to say sort of to one-up New York City, but it's to make the point that that has been an incredible community and economic win for New York City. And you can only imagine, and Kennedy went through a lot of the sort of human attributes that this project will bring to New Jersey in the connectivity that it will bring, leaving I-280 and other congested parts of the state aside. This will have peace, tranquility, multiple access points for public transit along the path. So we'll have giving commuters more options and, frankly, out-of-towners as well another reason to visit and support some of our state's most iconic downtowns. And just people will be able to meet, walk freely, and enjoy along an unencumbered stretch. And again, as I mentioned, it will improve our environmental stability and infrastructure. It will improve our air quality, particularly urban air quality. And as we saw last night, we're not getting out of the current vortex of more and more frequent challenges from Mother Nature and more intensity along with each one of them. And I think it will rival any, not just the High Line, any other park, particularly urban park like it anywhere in the nation. And it'll be particularly a game changer for the communities in both Essex and Hudson counties that will benefit enormously from this. And it will benefit, this is one of these things that will be benefiting folks many, many, many decades from now. This is now, some things we do relate immediately to something, for instance, assessing storm damage from last night, or something that you trigger an instant reaction. This is one that will live and breathe for many, many decades to come, and I could not be more honored to be a part of this group. Kennedy, thank you for kicking us off today. With that, please help me welcome the aforementioned Commissioner of the Department of Environmental Protection, Sean LaTourette.
Well, good morning, everyone. No. Y'all could do better than that. Good morning, everyone. So thank you all for being here to mark this really momentous occasion that so many people have poured their heart and their hard work into. Doing something this transformative is a big deal. This state has not had a new state park in decades, right? It takes visionary leadership, a leader who empowers and inspires us to do big things. Governor Murphy, we thank you for that. It takes a champion who brings people and communities and organizations together to demand that their government deliver big things. Champions like Commissioner Brendan Gill. It takes a fighter who will call the recalcitrant executives of a railroad into her office, dress them down, and tell them to do better by the people of the state of New Jersey, like Senator Teresa Ruiz. It takes the heart that keeps us focused on our kids and the communities that they will inherit. And it also helps when that heart holds the purse strings, like Assemblywoman Pinter Marin. And most importantly, it takes the doers who get on the ground, engage with our communities, with our residents, that put together the designs and the aspirations, that do the visioning of what this place can be. Folks like our Assistant Commissioner for Parks, Forests, and Historic Sites, John Cecil, our Administrator of Urban State Parks, Maggie McCann-Johns, our Chief of the State Park Police, Chief Fedorczyk, and the so many contributors across our state park service. And our partners at the Economic Development Authority who are bidding this project out, Mary Maples, Jane Rosenblatt, our folks at New Jersey Transit who are working with us to reserve a part of this corridor to serve a transit solutions well into the future, right? It takes what folks talk about a lot in government, but don't always do, a whole of government approach, and I rarely use that phrase. Because by bringing this project to life, we are going to better serve our communities, better connect people and communities with the environment that we all share, and improve upon that environment in the process. Because we can do multiple things at once. We can improve the recreational capacity and the transit options for people at the same time, we are sparking redevelopment and economic success for the communities through which this line will travel from Montclair to Jersey City and connect it into vital spaces all along the way. I also have to mention that this project wouldn't have been possible without the early groundwork of the Open Space Institute, who's with us today, the Bike and Walk Coalition, and so many supporters. I thank you all so much. This is going to be a long endeavor, right? We're starting with the first mile. There's 9 more. There's 8 more to go, right? And it's going to take some time. But we will build through this first mile the energy and the excitement that will drive the project forward. And I thank you all for your contributions. Let's get it done.
Yeah, this is not a tomorrow. We will not be finishing the 9th mile in the next 6 months, as much as I would love to think we could. Thank you, Sean. And you mentioned a whole bunch of folks, Mary and others, as well as all the advocates who are with us today, and we thank them. Again, this does not happen without great leadership in the legislature, without great leadership, period, but especially in the legislature to get the appropriation to our desk. Please, we've got a great speaker from each chamber. Please help me welcome Essex County's own, the majority leader in our Senate, Senator Teresa Ruiz. I won't kiss you because I'm. You want me to bring her up? Or? Yeah, you mind?
Okay, yeah. Good morning, everyone. This is a celebration, and outside of it being a celebration, this is the reversal of economic injustice to a community that was burdened for decades with a railroad who, much like, I guess, all railroads, feel that they didn't have to respond to absolutely anyone in their corporate responsibility. And so when the rail that was a huge economic development corridor for the city and the state went defunct, the city of Newark and predominantly the North Ward residents were saddled with a railroad that the councilman of the North Ward would call zombie trails. He worked at the food town, and you would see what would happen here. It wasn't a gathering of children playing or concert goers. It was a magnet for negative opportunity. But then outside of that, the railroad became very creative in their approach. And they started leasing property that was theirs to random individuals who, at a very low price point, really had a wild, wild west unstructured environment out here. And what does that mean? That means that the girl who suffered from asthma up the way when it was snow plowing days and there were several trucks here idling for hours would get woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning and then have to deal with that kind of toxins in the air. It meant that when children were playing in the background and there were unregulated wood chips that were just being ground and pulverized to the ground, that while she was playing in her backyard, she had to deal with this corporate irresponsibility. And so a debt of gratitude goes to so many individuals. And first, I want to take an opportunity because while all of that is happening, response to public service had to be in place. So Yvonne in my office would get phone calls from families and from business owners. So I want to thank her for her commitment to this project, because from day one, and the commissioner said it, I guess before I opened my mouth, I should have realized how tall this man was from Norfolk Southern. But, and Pat Council, you were in that meeting. It was a meeting of all the heads of different departments, code enforcement, public works, trying to come up with a resolution for cleanliness on a basic level. And every time I asked the question, the head of Norfolk would turn around and talk to one of my male counterparts. Over and over again, he kept repeating the same thing. I said, but can we just make this a rails to trails? And then he looked at me and said, like, what is the price point, right? And I said, I won't curse, ladies, and threw him out of the office, and this 7-foot tall man. And I said, oh, Jesus. But anyway, thank you to Yvonne for being there from day one. And to 2 councilmen, and there's several council people here, and I'll acknowledge all of them, but the North Ward gentleman who had to deal with sending out consistently resources from the city just to have basic cleanup here. I want to give a shout out to Councilman at Large Luis Quintana and Councilman of the North Ward, if you'll stand, Aníbal Ramos Jr. Thank you for your leadership. I mentioned Pack Council. Also joining us is Council President Larry Crump. Thank you for being here. And so the governor has said it, and a debt of gratitude to him for understanding what's at stake here. This is much greater than a connectivity line of park and recreation. This is environmental justice. This is an economic development opportunity. This is a corridor that abuts a historical Olmsted design park nestled around a new school built for the Newark public school system, abutting a new apartment building and neighboring a senior complex. Imagine the good of what this open space can do. Imagine that those wood chips and those toxins gets converted to an outdoor concert or a garden or programming. Or, better yet, that Senator McKnighton said, when it gets done, the two of us will get on a bike and simultaneously meet each other at some halfway point. I just hope it doesn't take long enough, because then, Eliana, you might have to wheel me across to that point. But this administration has consistently understood the purpose of righting wrongs. It doesn't matter what we are talking about, long legacy projects that perhaps were overlooked and not paid attention to, that they have understood that making an investment hasn't been a waste of money, but has understood that it's a return on the best capital improvement you can make, and that's in humanity, in our families, and in our children, in our neighborhoods. Sean, thank you for always picking up the phone, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. Governor, thank you for believing in this state the way that you do, and thank you for believing explicitly in the city where I'm raising my daughter, where my dad picked to raise his family, where so many people are calling home the largest city in the state of New Jersey, Jersey City, the great home of District 29, but the great home of a place that will continue to shed light to Newark, so that when someone reads a trope or reads a headline or thinks that there's something else happening here, they know that we will have the best linear park that will rival any national park in the state, that we have a growing public school district that is brokering deals and making sure that it's going to close the achievement gap, that we have administrations that believe that connecting communities is a service and not a disservice. Because trust and believe, Sean has had to deal with, well, what's going to happen when we start walking into different neighborhoods? I'll tell you what's going to happen. We're going to make human connection. You're going to realize that I'm a mother that was born and raised here, that I'm a Puerto Rican woman, that I want the same exact things that they want for their kids. Quality of life improvements and a better opportunity for the next generation. So thank you to all of you. Thank you for making this true today. Let's keep securing that money. When he mentioned Mary from EDA, I thought I was whispering, but the governor did hear me. I was like, just keep sending us all the money. I would be remiss if you can clap for me, yes, because I have a prize. Thank you back there. So I have a great job next to do. The only district in the state of New Jersey well, not the only right now, but it will be the only district in the state of New Jersey in the next realignment of elected officials to be represented by all women, all mothers of Newark phenomenal children, all public servants outside of our elected titles, all people committed to this municipality and to the district at large, that we recognize that our efforts have not been in vain. My partner, Assemblywoman Eliana Pintor-Marin.
Thank you very much. I hate following Senator Ruiz. I love her like a sister, but she's just an amazing, phenomenal speaker. So, we're here today because of an effort that obviously, Brendan, as I leaned over to him and I said, you were really annoying throughout a few months in time, about 2 years ago. And then I looked at Teresa and I was like, she was annoying too. So, but I just wanted to say that, for myself, I'm in the East Ward. I'm in the city of Newark. I was born and raised there, and I continue to live there. And for many of us, as I look out into the audience and see, we didn't grow up with a lot of money or the economic stability that we had the opportunity to vacation or do camps or do all these things that our kids now, I think, are more fortunate enough to experience than we did. So parks were really our vacation time. Whether, you stayed in a park locally, whether we traveled to Kearney or we came to the North Ward, traveling across town was like a big deal when I was younger. This was where we spent our summers. This is what we did to vacation, right? We spent a nice afternoon, Saturday or Sunday, and then we would get a treat, maybe ice cream, and that was kind of like our vacationing. And to see now what we've been able to do, not only to be able to rehabilitate our parks, but now to see the Greenway, that we're going to have an opportunity to show our kids, ride a bike path to see what Jersey City looks like from a different scope, from a different lens, not getting in the car, not sitting in traffic, but really to provide them with a different experience of what it's like and what neighboring neighborhoods look like and can look like. To be able for them to come here and see this today, and then a few years from now be able to experience it at a different level. It's always amazing. Governor Murphy, Senator Ruiz touched on this. We come from communities where sometimes our communities feel like they're taking advantage of, maybe not just because of the color of our skin, but because maybe they don't speak English as a first language, maybe because they just don't know where to advocate or who to go to really have their voices heard. And that you've been really an administration that has come in and you've opened the door to a lot of those people. Because a lot of times they communicate through us. And if there's not an opportunity to work with someone like you and those in your administration, their voices would continue to be unheard. So Governor, I thank you today. I thank the commissioner and EDA and all of my colleagues for really coming together and showing what our voices are and what our communities have at stake in order to make this work. So I am very appreciative to you and to how open you've been in hearing us. Sometimes you say no, and that's okay. But the times that were the most important, you've always said yes to us. So that does not go unnoticed, because when you leave this administration, you're going to look back and you can scroll down and talk about all the things that you've left behind that were done. So congratulations to you. Thank you. And I know I called him annoying before, but I have the privilege to bring up Commissioner Brendan Gill. Commissioner, we've known each other for a very long time. Our kids are relatively the same age, so we talk about what interests they're in. But Brendan really he's tenacious, and when he wants something done, he really goes after it, and that's a really admirable quality about you, Brendan. So congratulations to you as well for today.
Good morning. Annoying is fine. I'm going to take one point of personal privilege. There's another person in the audience who might agree with the assessment of annoying. It's our 27th District Assemblywoman, Alex Incollazo-Gill, who's in the audience. But I just wanted to give her also a special shout out and thank everyone who's here, Governor, Commissioner LaTourette, of course, the Senator and the Assembly woman. Governor, I wanted to personally thank you. I wish my mom was here because I don't think there would be many other opportunities for her to hear me and George Washington in the same sentence. But in all seriousness, very early on, when the governor was considering whether to run for governor, he made himself available to meet with all types of different constituent groups across this great state. And one of them was the New Jersey Bike and Walk Coalition, represented today by Deborah Kagan, their president. And let's give it up for Deborah, who did a tremendous amount of work on this and early on saw the vision and embraced the vision. And Governor, we can't thank you enough for everything that your administration did to advance this project. In addition to that, and I know I'm the last speaker between now and the 10th, so I will be brief. When I had the opportunity to be first elected on the Essex County Board of Commissioners in 2011, one of the first meetings that I took in January of 2012 was with a group of advocates who wanted to introduce me to something called the Iron and Ice Trail. At that time, it was called the Iron and Ice Trail. And the reason it was called the Iron and Ice Trail, it's been going through a couple of iterations of branding for sure, was that the freight line, the rail cars used to carry iron and ice through this section of Essex County and the city. And they presented a very, very big idea, an idea that almost every elected official who could do something about it, respectfully, at the time, or even some other advocates said it's impossible. It can't happen. It will never happen. It's too much money. It's too hard. We can't bring communities together. There was excuse after excuse after excuse as to why this project was never going to happen. And over a decade later, yes, because of some of the elected officials you see, but because of the citizens and the advocates who persisted year after year, because of the people like Senator Ruiz, who represented the people that live on the very trail, we got some movement. Those advocates put together over, I think, apologize, Governor, 15,000 letters and emails to your office and to every elected official who had a piece of this project. So to the young people that are here today, when an adult tells you it can't happen, it can. It can. And one of the things that I'm so glad to hear everyone speak about, all the beauties of this project, but we talked about it probably about a year ago, Governor, when we had the groundbreaking, and it's been reiterated here today, that in a state that has many great assets, one of our, in my opinion, greatest challenges is that we are still a highly segregated state. We are still a highly segregated state. I'm born and raised in the township of Montclair, spent my entire life essentially in Essex County, but it's very easy to live in Montclair and Glen Ridge and never set foot in the great city of Newark, and it's very easy to live in the city of Newark and never set foot in Glen Ridge or Montclair, and it happens far too often. And what I am most excited about for this project, is this project, through its commitment to public health, public safety, is going to address that issue head on. It's going to bring communities together that oftentimes don't come together. So congratulations to everyone who's here. I also would love to give a quick shout out to all the mayors that are also here today. So I see Mayor Baskerville from Montclair in the back, Mayor Melham, who is here from Belleville, Mayor Mans from Glen Ridge, who am I missing? Mayor Mundell from Bloomfield, former mayor of Bloomfield, Assemblyman, Mike Venezia, who were all early supporters of this project, and we wouldn't be here without your support as well. So congratulations to all of you, to each and every one. We're 1 mile. We got a lot more to go, but congratulations, and I look forward to coming back each year as this project continues to bring our community and our state together as one. All the best.
Brendan, that was awesome. 2 comments. It's the People's Republic of Montclair. Don't forget that. Where's Renee? She knows that better than anything. Hi, Renee. And secondly, on a serious note, that notion of traversing from one community to another is a big animating force behind this whole project. There's a lot of different ones, but that's a big one. And bringing us together in safety and security and happiness. So as I say in Hollywood, it's a wrap. I think we're going to go over and grab some shovels. Kennedy, thank you for kicking us off so graciously. To Sean, Teresa, Ileana, and Brendan, thank you for speaking so eloquently. To everybody who showed up today, huge thanks for your being here. Let's throw some dirt. Thank you. Yes, she told me in the hospital. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
How are you?